Monica talks about color issues in the music industry.
Yeah, you definitely have to believe in yourself first, but I understand the idea of breaking the chains of our thoughts of ourselves. That's something you have to do with everything. Because if I had insecurities, being in this business would just completely break me. And there are a lot of artists that, if you listen to their music, they'll tell you that they're super insecure in what they're going through and what they're feeling. But I have a really great family, so that's why I always tell people that your inner voice, your parents, your children's inner voice is you. How you speak, how you think, how you feel. So my mom used to always, sky's the limit. Anything we did, she would tell us how great we were, and would tell us so much good about us, that the world, wasn't tearing at us. Because if that was the case, I would go through that now. Like, people will say things like, "Oh, you're so pretty, but you're too skinny," or the weird stuff like that people will type now. I never had a problem with being small. You go back and look at my album covers, I'm itty bitty. Always have been and always will be. From the looks of it, I'm 40 now. So that's who I am. But because my inner voice, even as an adult, it speaks more positive, it drowns out a lot of what happens now. And unfortunately, people now have to deal with social. So you have people who they're placing their insecurities on you by constantly saying something so negative, or something. And I mean, it helped a lot of things. The way that it went in my life prepared me for the way that it is now, and knowing that there's somebody for everybody. Voluptuous women, listen, somebody that loves that. Slim women, thick women, short women, tall women. We getting off the exit now?
Are you asking me or telling me?
Asking, because I didn't look up. That's Nana texting. Yes, my love.
I don't want to read the question.
You want to read a question? Okay.
I told you the first one, but you always pick your own.
Okay. Oh, somebody said you're not skinny, you slim. Here's the thing. I don't think people know. Of course, some people do it. They're just being nasty. But I don't think some people know that skinny is a derogatory word. It's no different than fat to a person that's slim. It really is. Body shaming in any form is just simply not okay, because we were all created by a creator that does not make mistakes. So if this is the way I am, I see myself when I wake up. I don't need you to remind me of anything, especially things that I'm good with. Is it bothering you? That's kind of what we also have to instill in our kids, because people will find things and try to make them an issue for you. And sometimes it's stuff you've never even thought about. But luckily, like I say, having that really good. I have so many friends that are like, "Oh, I don't like this," or "I don't like that," about themselves. And then you go around their family and their nickname is something to that thing they don't like. Or, but people don't always mean any harm. But we have to be conscientious of what it does to other people, calling them anything other than their name. And I always tell people this too. There's nothing worse than an underhanded compliment, where you say something nice and something shitty at the same time. It's like sugar. It's weird. It's like you put sugar and shit in a bowl. I still don't want the bowl. It's got shit in it. So that's how it is with an underhanded compliment. When you say something, like, "Oh, you're pretty, but too skinny." It's like that. What is that? Or it's like you see women that are always very confident. That's what I always loved about Rihanna. She don't give a what you think, period. That's that on there. I love that, because when I came in, that's how I felt, and I'm glad that I never lost it. My issue was never in anything pertaining to me physically. My issue always was that as an artist, you have to accept that there will be things said about you that are not true. that took me a long time to digest. That it really did. But yeah, we have to start minding our tongues, because the tongue is very powerful, and you never know what it's doing to someone else. This person's to this, to that, and all this light and dark conversation and colorism, all this stuff is absolutely not okay. And those of us that have platforms and places that we can speak on it and really remind people what they're doing to each other, and what eventually sometimes gets done to them, it tears at the spirit, it tears at how you see yourself. So you're not even walking boldly and in your greatness, because you're thinking of all these things that other people have made you think of, and it's just not okay. But I was just fortunate to come from the type of home where I never heard, oh, you skinny. It's like, oh, you look like a model. That looks so beautiful on you. Do you like this? Do you like that? My mom always pushed us to do what we love. You know, she wasn't trying to force us into any look or go one way or the other. And we always heard about how beautiful we were. And you know, growing up as a child, every shade of black was in the house. My father is very fair with blue eyes and blonde hair. My mom is gorgeous. Her skin just, I don't know, my mom is just beautiful to me. And so we had so a lot of the stuff that I see now and experience now, and I experienced as I, was more of age, it's just disheartening, because our kids don't have a true sense of self, and they don't appreciate who they are, because they're so busy trying to figure out who they should be. No, you're exactly who God designed you to be. You look like you're supposed to look. Your skin is the color it's supposed to be. Your hair texture is exactly as it should be. Your height is exactly how it's supposed to be. Your size. Unless you're unhealthy, and you can be unhealthy in either direction. I had high blood pressure and weighed 135 pounds. So that's the only way I see changing something about you being necessary. But unfortunately, the society we live in, it doesn't give our kids a fair shot. It doesn't give our artists a fair shot. You know how many artists sign deals just to be told what they have to change? I never went through that. But, it's like coming in contact with them and having real love for some of these women. I'm like, they said what? It makes me angry, because we are who we are by design, not by accident. But, we have to be accountable when we play into these stigmas as well too, So I teach mine, you exactly who you're supposed to be. Everything from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And I always tell my daughter, you're a beautiful girl. But the fact that you're beautiful inside makes the outer glow on a completely different level. And so I'm like, Mama, what you mean? And I break it down. It's nothing worse than a beautiful person with an ugly, funky attitude.
Thanks for tuning in to 9 Mag TV.